Hello everyone and welcome to another UFC review. We're in Vegas again, this time at the T-Mobile Arena for UFC 200, an absolute milestone. And before I continue this review, I do want to say something I neglected to say in my past couple of videos. I know it's been like a week since it happened, but rest in peace to Ryan Jimmer, who died in a car crash not long ago. I mean, I enjoyed watching him fight, even though he wasn't the best, he was very entertaining to watch. So the world is going to be a lot sadder without him. Yeah, and also, as always, with my reviews, do not watch these if you haven't seen the actual event yet, because there will be spoilers, because I'll be reviewing all the fights that I managed to see. So we're going to get on to the first of those fights right now, in the start of the prelim card. So first of all, we had Sage Northcutt against Enrique Marin, and Northcutt won by unanimous decision. He just showed a lot better striking, and he showed a surprisingly good wrestling game. Sorry, my cat's to the side there. He showed a really good wrestling game, despite not well. He used that a bit more than his striking in this fight, but he managed to keep it really well balanced, in my opinion. So it was a good fight. Yeah. So that was the first one, Northcutt versus Marin. Decent start to the card. Next up was TJ Dillashaw against Rafael Assunção, who has been making a lot of waves. Dillashaw won by decision. Managed to pretty much do what he does against all of his opponents, which is pretty much like the same stuff he started doing around 2014-ish, which is just absolutely outstrike the crap out of them. Pretty much move like Dominic Cruz does. Dillashaw pretty much became Dominic Cruz at some point within 2014. Something snapped within him, and like he became the new bantamweight champion before losing it to the original Dominic Cruz, which is Dominic Cruz. So that was it was a good fight for TJ. Don't know what happened with my voice there. Definitely showed he still does have what it takes to be championship material, despite not having the belt anymore. He's definitely still up in the upper echelon of the bantamweight division. So yeah, pretty much a really good showcase from him. Managed to catch Assunção a lot. It was a good fight. Next up is a catchweight fight between Johnny Hendricks and Kelvin Gastelum. Gastelum won by decision. Hendricks looked really slow and kind of sloppy in this fight, in my opinion, which is a shame because like normally when you see him, we're used to seeing him put out a lot more power and a lot more of a pace. He is mostly known for having a big left hand, but he does have more than that. But it just looked like that was all he was looking for, and he couldn't really get any wrestling off, despite the fact that he is a really good wrestler. Gastelum controlled him in terms of striking, in terms of grappling. He outdid him in pretty much every moment of the fight that I could think of. So, good win for Gastelum. Really not a good showing for Hendricks. I do hope he picks it up again soon. But once again, decent fight. And we cap off the prelim card with a fight between bantamweight contender Kat Zingano and the Ultimate Fighter Season 18 winner, female bantamweight winner, Juliana Pena. My throat's been just acting up. I don't know why. Pena won by decision. Showed how good of a grappler she was. Like, it was the same grappling game she showcased on Turf 18 that she showcased since then in her events after the show. So it was a good fight. It was good. I mean, she did her best. It was a good way to cap off the prelim card. So yeah, let's move on to the main card. So we start off the main card with a heavyweight bout between former heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, sorry, I don't know why I pronounced so much on the que, and Travis Brown, who's one of my favourite fighters, and Velasquez won by first round TKO near the end of the first round. It was a really good showing for him. Like, he just landed some really good shots on Brown at the right time. He showed a lot of precision, which is something you don't really see in heavyweights. You see them like just swinging to break the other person's jaw. But it was a really, really good fight for Velasquez, and I definitely think, if he keeps going like this, he could get himself another title shot. It was really good to see, and I look forward to seeing more of him. I would like to see Brown get a chance to pick himself up, though. He hasn't looked good in his last couple of fights, this one included, but he's always exciting to watch, in my opinion, so I do hope he stays in the UFC. Next up was my personal candidate for Fight of the Night, even though Fight of the Night wasn't really awarded at this event for some reason. But if I could pick one of the fights, it would probably be this one, because this was the closest it got. Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar, a fight for the interim title, and the winner would fight Conor McGregor. And the winner was Jose Aldo by decision, and it was actually a really good fight between the two. Like, it was probably the most memorable of all the fights that went at the distance, and there were a lot on this card. I'm just going to get this out of the way. Despite it being such a monumental occasion, with it being UFC 200, it was kind of boring. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like the huge extravaganza that I was hoping it would be. Some of that could be from John Jones having to, having been pulled out from the fight from the whole like drug results and everything. But yeah, it was a good fight. The fight between Aldo and Edgar, the second one, obviously, really, really, really good fight in my opinion. It should have gone fight of the night, even though no fights were awarded that. But this one should have been. It was probably the least boring of all the ones that went all the way. So yeah. Speaking of boring long distance fights, Daniel Cormier beat Anderson Silva by unanimous decision, and okay. I don't have a problem with wrestlers, provided that they try to do work. Cormier did enough work, but he mostly focused on just smothering Anderson and not letting him do anything. And it just got really boring for me. Like, there were just points where I was like, oh god, I want the round to be over. So, he did a good job against Anderson Silva, who hasn't won in a while. He hasn't won really since he lost to Chris Weidman at the end of 2013, so it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Next up, we have the Super Samoan Mark Hunt, I had to space out that name on purpose, against the return of Brock Lesnar. No, Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar, that's his name. Yes, Brock has returned, and he showed some dominant fashion, winning by unanimous decision. The first round was definitely his best, though, because he managed to take down Hunt and managed to get on the side and land some great ground and pound. In fact, there was a moment at the end of the third round where I thought if he kept landing this ground and pound, he would have won. He did have plenty of opportunities to finish, but couldn't capitalize on them. But he did enough to win the fight. It was a really good return for him. I'm glad he's back. I just hope that this paints a CM Punk in positive light for when he comes to the UFC in a couple of months. So, yeah, it was a good fight by Brock, though. And finally, the main event of the evening between UFC bantamweight champion Miesha Tate, women's bantamweight champion Miesha Tate, and contender Amanda Nunes. This was changed the main event after the whole John Jones debacle. Then it was Lesnar versus Hunt for a bit, and then, pardon me, then Tate versus Nunes got boosted up to the top spot, and Nunes won to become the new UFC bantamweight champion. But not only that, the first Brazilian women's champion in either division in the UFC, which is a remarkable thing, personally. Like, a couple of months ago, we had Bisping, well, last month actually, I think it was, Bisping became the first ever UK champion ever. We had the first ever Brazilian women's champion in Amanda Nunes. It was a really, really great fight. She showcased some good striking, was vicious and precise. Then when she managed to take Tate's back, she sunk in a rear naked choke about 3 minutes into the first round. Great finish, great fight for Nunes. It was really awesome. And we now have a new champion. So, yeah. And also, something I forgot to mention at the end of the Aldo Edgar fight after Aldo won. He went over to the side of the cage where McGregor was sitting outside and he pointed at him saying, "You're next." Remember the last time you fought McGregor, Aldo? Yeah, it didn't go too well for you, did it? I like you. I mean, I wouldn't fuck with Aldo, McGregor, or anybody in the UFC ever. But for those of you who saw that, let's let you know what I'm on about. It did not go well for little Aldo. Anyway, that's my review of UFC 200. Despite being a monumental one, it was at best. There was so much more of it that could be better. Like, the last event I reviewed, the UFC 23 finale, TUF 23 finale, that was better. UFC 199 was fantastic. The fight night that I reviewed, which I don't remember. Hang on. Dos Anjos versus Alvarez. Yeah, that's how good that event was if I can remember who the hell was fighting in the main event. So, yeah, that's my review of UFC 200. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will see you Friday, because that's when I'll be reviewing McDonald versus Lineker, which will be a really good fight. I like McDonald and Lineker. They're two of my favourite bantamweight fighters. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I will see you all next time. Take care, and bye-bye.